to kick this off. It is Monday, February 17th. Anyone else feel like February is just like flying by? I don't know what's happening. Like, I'm like, wait a minute. It's literally almost March. Like, what is happening? I'm also turning 30 in March, and I feel like maybe it's just like, I don't know. I don't know. It's just, I don't like it. I like my longer months, and I feel like February is just flying by. So anyway, really excited for today's coffee chat. I do have a few announcements that I want to make before we kick it off on the topic that we're talking about. And then I'll dive into that. So first few things, you guys, I've had a few of you asking me about our next boot camp, how you can get into it, how our boot camps are working, because I know we've changed it a little bit. So we have our Facebook group, which obviously all of you guys are in, our Florida Fit community group. That group is like our ongoing support group, right? So that's just a group where you guys know it's a safe space. It's a place that you can go and ask questions, get advice, you know, share recipes, all the things, right? But that's not really where our boot camps are ran. We realized over the last few months that, like, yes, we love that group. We love our Florida Fit community, but it's a big group, right? It's got almost 900 people in it, which we're super grateful for, but it's hard for us to really hold people accountable because there's so many people, and, we can't see who's showing up every day, with their workouts and drinking their shake and doing the program. So we decided to run our actual boot camps through our challenge tracker app group. They're changing it. They're actually making it better next month, April-ish. And they're going to be calling them bod groups. But basically, that group is where we can really help hold you accountable. So we do our weekly leaderboards. We do our weekly call outs. Like we're calling them get on the board call outs. We are doing different things. We have a post every day in there where we're, giving advice, going over, like, this month is all about self-love. So it's a lot of self-love practices and things like that. So those groups are really awesome. We're getting a lot of people that are using them to track their workouts and track their shakes and really be held accountable. We also do our weekly one-on-one check-ins in those groups. Like, your coach will be checking in on you once a week, and we send out meal plans to all of that. So if you want in on our next one, if you're not in our current one and you want in on our next one, we don't just add people to it, you guys. You got to let us know if you want in on it, because I don't want to add someone to it if they don't want to be a part of it and then they're not going to use it. So if you want in on it, our next one is going to start prep week next Monday, so February 24th. And then the challenge will actually start, like the actual boot camp challenge will start on March 2nd. This one, we were looking at the calendar, and this one's going to be a little different. We're only going to do it for 3 weeks because the way that the calendar is, the next prep week would start on the 23rd. So you don't have to do a 21-day program. I personally am, and I know a few of the coaches that are running their groups are, just because we're ending bar, and then with our Success Club trip being in March, it just like worked out that way. But as we're looking at the calendar, it just makes more sense for us to do it that way. So again, it's going to be a 3-week challenge. It'll be a 4-week group with prep week. So just let us know if you want in on that. Let your coach know, reach out to your coach and say, hey, make sure you add me to the next group. And we will make sure we do that. So that's the first announcement. Second announcement, and then we'll get into the actual call. I've had a few of you asking me about 10 Rounds, which is our new program that's launching with Joel. It's a kickboxing boxing program. Ashley got to try it at New Leader Conference and said it was amazing. But I've had a few of you asking me, like, so when can I get access to that? When can I start that? What's all involved? They haven't really launched like a ton of information on it in terms of like, I know what kind of program it is, but other than that, but I do know some dates. So I wanted to give you guys dates if you're looking ahead. I like to like kind of plan out when I'm going to start everything. And so March 16th through April 5th is when there's like a coach exclusive window that you can purchase pre-purchase the program. Okay, so that's just for coaches. If you are not a coach, you can't get access to that program during that time. But March 16th through April 5th is when you can pre-purchase it. April 1st is when it launches for VIP clients. Okay. When you so say you're a coach and you buy it on March 16th, you can't purchase the program. I mean, you can't access the full program until April 1st. I have read, and I can't confirm if this is like true, but I have read that as coaches, they're actually going to let us like give us access to the first 10 workouts, I believe, so that you can try them out. Not positive on the dates for that, so we will keep you guys updated as we know more about the program. April 1st is when you can actually access the program if you bought it early, if you pre-buy it. And then that also for customers, if you're not a coach and you're just a customer, that's when you can purchase it. So my suggestion, if you're not a coach, you should be one. Like, that's one of the perks of coaches, is that we get access to these things early, and like we can pre-purchase earlier, we can get the workouts, the sample workouts earlier, all of those things. So I always recommend just signing up as a coach, even if you're not wanting to coach, so that you can get access to it early. If you are like, well, when does it come out on BOD for regular members? Not till October, you guys. So you won't be able to access that until October. Like, that's insane to me. And it's so cheap. When I first coached, y'all, we would get the DVDs, right? So I'd have to buy every single DVD. And then when they first had BOD, like, to unlock the programs, you had to purchase it no matter what. They didn't do this whole, like, it eventually unlocked thing. So we didn't really have a choice, and it was way more expensive. And now it's like I don't know the pricing of it, but like from other past launches, I'm like, that's not expensive to open it early. So just putting that out there, if you guys wanted to access that, I wanted to give you guys dates. And then the last announcement I have for you, there is a few coaches that are going to be doing the 3-day refresh next week. So we haven't figured out dates for sure, but we're thinking like February 26th through the 28th. 22nd. Elaine, why are you doing this? I don't know what you're trying to tell me. Is it next week or the week after? I don't know. We haven't figured it out.
I think we said the week after Mardi Gras. So Mardi Gras is next week.
Okay, so
we
the
said
first week of March.
March, yeah. March 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th that week.
Okay, then we're gonna do it that week. Sorry. We were kind of just like deciding these things. We decided that the other day. She asked me if I wanted to do one, and I was like, yeah, let's get whoever wants to do one in. We have Mardi Gras next week, so if you're from New Orleans, you definitely want to do a 3-day refresh. So I will post dates on that in a bit in our group, so you guys know. If you want in on it, you don't have to, but I know, like, doing those things together are always fun, and it's easier if you're in a group doing it together, right? So I will post those dates later. Okay, so today's topic, and if you guys have questions, like, please feel free to put them in the sidebar. Today's topic, and we've kind of talked about this a little bit in past calls, but we didn't have this like as a topic, and it's different, knowing the difference between your why and your goals, you guys. Because I see a lot of people that are like, oh, my why, like, the reason why I'm doing this is to lose weight, or the reason why I'm doing this is to, fit into a certain size jeans or whatever. But that's not really your why. That's a goal, which is great to have. You have to have both in order to be successful. Okay, you can't just set goals and not have a reason why you're going after it. You can't really have a why without having your goals. So I want to talk about this because I think this is like the biggest thing that can make or break you in this journey. I used to be that person that would like start over every Monday. I used to be that person that would, go on a diet, and that didn't last long, which I don't believe in dieting anymore, but I had the wrong mindset about this stuff because I just didn't really understand it. I didn't really, I always heard like, you got to find your why. And I'm like, I don't know what that means. Like, what does that mean? How am I going to find my why? And so I wanted to just kind of talk to you guys about it, knowing the difference, and like help you guys figure out why you're on this journey. If you have the Ultimate Portion Fix, you guys, Autumn has like one of her first videos with the Ultimate Portion Fix is a why practice. So she actually walks you through how to find your why, and how to figure that out. So I highly, highly recommend it if you have it, to go make sure like you go redo it. If maybe you did it when it first launched. I actually decided this morning, I was like, I need to go back and listen to that video and like redo it, because my why, when it launched a year and something ago, is probably not the same as it is now. And I really think you always have to kind of reevaluate your why, because again, it will change over time. So let's talk about the difference between your why and your goals. So your goals are things like, if you're aiming to lose a specific amount of weight, right? That's a goal. I always say to have more than one goal, because if you're just solely focused on like a number, it can be discouraging, right? So don't just set a goal to lose 50 pounds, right? Like set multiple goals that you could work towards. So if your goal, and I'm just using 50 pounds as like a benchmark, because that was one of my goals when I first started. So, I wanted to lose 50 pounds, but I also wanted to be able to fit into my clothes comfortably. I wanted to be able to walk into a dressing room without bursting into tears. Like that was a goal of mine. I wanted to be more confident in front of my husband. I wanted to drink X amount of water every day. I wanted to follow, the meal plan 80% of the time, and 20% treat myself, right? So those were all goals of mine, but I really needed to dig deep of like why I was setting those goals and why I was going after those goals. Because in the moment of like, you're at a restaurant and, you know, there's an option of eating all the fried foods, burgers, the fries, the alcoholic beverages, the dessert, all of the things, or you have the option of, maybe eating a little bit of those things and eating a big ass salad, right? Like you have the options for both. Well, obviously, in the moment, you're more than likely going to be like, I really want the burgers and the fried food and the all the things, right? You're and like, yeah, you'll know like that's not going to get me closer to my goal. But if a burger is staring you in the face, and the fries and all the unhealthy options that you like love, right? You're more than likely gonna be like, I really want that. Like I don't care about my goal at this moment, right? So then you just pass up the vegetables and you dive into the fried food and you eat it all, and then you wake up and you're like, ugh, I feel like crud, right? You didn't remind yourself of why you started. So it was really easy for you to just like give up on it, or to not even like think about it. You're like, nope, I'm just gonna put my blinders on and focus on the fried food, because I'm in this time and moment, the goal doesn't matter, right? But if your why is strong enough, you guys, if you're the reason why you're doing it, and this is a habit that you have to create of like reminding yourself of that why, it'll be a lot less likely that you're gonna dive into all the crappy food and not even eat a vegetable, right? Like you're like, oh well, and again, I'm not saying, let me make sure that's clear. I'm not saying that you can't have the fried food. I had pizza yesterday. Truth. Like I ate pizza last night. Um, but the point is that like if you remember why you started, you're less likely to do the whole like circle of, I'm going to start today, I'm going to get to these goals, and then like slowly start to fall off, and then you just go crazy and binge eat, and then you start over. Like that cycle of just going round and round in a circle and never getting to your results, right? In order to get to your goals, you guys, you're going to have to make sacrifices. You're going to have to say no to the pizza sometimes. You're going to have to say no to the fried foods. Again, I'm not saying that you can't have it ever, but at the same time, if you want something to change, you have to make a change, right? You have to make those habits, those healthier options. You have to choose them sometimes. Like you can't run a mile and expect to have six-pack abs, right? You can't eat pizza every day and expect to lose weight. Like that's just not how it works, right? If it did, then your girl would be eating pizza every single day. Like, but the point is that if you know your why, if you figure out your why and why you're doing it, you can remind yourself of, okay, this is why I'm doing that. Is the fried food, is the alcoholic beverages, is all these things going to get me to my goals and help me achieve my why? And if it's not, am I consciously deciding that I'm okay with that today? right? Yesterday, like we went out to the parade unexpectedly. We went to brunch, went out to the parade unexpectedly, drank a little bit. And like when I got home, like I didn't care about my why or my goals. Honestly, like I was like, I just want freaking pizza. And guess what? I ate it and I have zero regrets. My stomach hurts this morning. But it is what it is. Like I can't change it. I chose to eat it, and like there's nothing I can do about it, right? But I know why I'm doing this, right? I know I am on my journey. And so today, instead of me allowing like myself to beat myself up over the pizza or, continue that spiral of eating junk food, like today I chose to wake up, I chose to drink a big glass of water and say, you know what? I know why I'm doing this. So today I'm going to fuel my body with vegetables and protein and the healthy foods. I'm not going to allow that one slip up, right? Mess up my whole week or allow me to just go on a spiral, right? So figuring out your why. So for example, you guys, when I first started this journey, I kept saying my why is that I want to lose 60 pounds. But again, like when the pizza is staring me in the face, I'm like, oh, I can lose 60 pounds tomorrow. It's fine. And like I can lose weight tomorrow. Like I can just eat the pizza. But my why, what I like when I started digging really deep to find out my why, when my coach was like, no, Jesse, your why is not 60 pounds weight loss. That's a goal. Like, what is your why? Why are you doing it? And, the more and more I thought about this, you guys, it was what made you buy your challenge pack? What made you say enough was enough? I need to do this, because it wasn't for me. It wasn't really the 60 pounds. Like, yeah, that was a goal, but like, that's not what made me decide, okay, Jesse, like you really need this. So like invest in yourself and just do it. The reason why I chose to invest in myself and the reason why I bought my challenge pack when I first started 6 years ago was because of my husband, because we were to the point where I was so unhappy with myself that I was taking it out on him, and like our relationship was basically done. Like he was like, I can't do it anymore, which I don't blame him, because we were constantly fighting, and I was a miserable human being, and no one wants to be with a miserable human being, right? So like at the end of the day, that was part of my why. Like, no, he loved me no matter what. It wasn't like he was like, oh, you need to lose weight. I knew that I needed to do this for me because I wasn't happy with myself, and it wasn't fair to him, right? It wasn't really fair to him or any of my family, any of my friends, because I wasn't happy with myself. So I was just being mean, and I was lashing out at them, and I was fighting with them, and I was, it wasn't just my husband, it was all of my relationships. But that was one that I was like bound to lose if I didn't change it, right? That's way more powerful than me saying I want to lose 60 pounds, right? So if I'm sitting down and there's all this pizza and all the junk in front of me, and I have my salad available to me, but I'm like, well, I really want the pizza. No, in that moment, if I thought of that why, you bet your butt that I'm going to eat the salad opposed to eating the pizza, right? So you really got to dig deep. And when we say like find your why, like really, really, really dig deep. What made you buy your challenge pack? What made you finally, even after you bought your challenge pack, what made you like finally commit to a program? And if you haven't committed to a program, if you haven't gone all in with something, you guys, it's because your why, you haven't figured that out yet. It's because you haven't really dug deep and said, okay, why am I doing this? What are my goals with this? And then reminded yourself of those things over and over and over again, because you can write down your why and you can have it clear as day. But it's just like your goals that you set in the beginning of the year. If you never look at them, if you never remind yourself of them, it's going to be really easy for you to just say, screw it, I don't care, right? When you do care, you care, because that's why you joined this to begin with, because you wanted change, you wanted to get healthier, you wanted to get happier, you wanted to work on your mental health, you wanted to work on your physical health. So there will be days where you say you don't care, it doesn't matter, right? Oh, it doesn't matter, but it does matter. And if you can remind yourself of your why, highly encourage you to do that, y'all, every single day. So I got this little starts today journal from Rachel Hollis, and it basically, you write down every single day like what you're grateful for, your 10 dreams that you're going to make happen, and then the goal that you're going to achieve first. And I already said, like, I am going to every morning write down my why. It's something I've been doing. I've been writing down my goals every morning, and like, but not just writing down my goals. Why are you wanting to go after those goals? Because what you put in the forefront of your mind, you guys, is what you're going to do. So like if I woke up today and I said, you know what, I'm going to, like, one of my goals is to commit to going back to eating, 80% healthy and 20% treating myself. So, that's one of my goals. And the reason why I'm doing this, because I know that that helps fuel my body. I know that that's what makes me feel good. I also want to be the healthiest version of me by the time I'm 30. Like, I want to feel good on my 30th birthday. And so that's my goal. That's part of my why. And so it's like, all right, well, what do I have to do that? Well, today I've got to get back on track on my nutrition. I've got to go to the grocery store. I've got to make time to meal plan. I've got to meal prep my food. I've got to drink a lot of water, right? So like, it sets the tone for what I'm going to do today. If I just woke up and I was like, gosh, my stomach hurts from eating pizza yesterday, and yeah, I'd probably drink a shake and then be like, well, we still have pizza left over in the fridge. I can just eat that for lunch, right? Like, no, that's not going to get me to my goals. That's not going to help me achieve my why. So you guys really need to dig really, really, really deep if you never have. And maybe you have in the past figured out why you're here, but then haven't reminded yourself of it. So go back and remind yourself of it. Sit down and write out your goals. And then from each goal, figure out, why do I really, really, really want that goal? Is it to teach my kids to be healthier, right? Is it to show my family like what healthy living is? Because that's a huge part. And share those goals, share those whys with your family, with your friends. That's why I coach, because I have to put myself out there. It forces me in a good way, right, to show up for myself even when I don't feel like it, to show up for those goals even when I don't feel like it. Am I perfect? No, it's not what this is about, but it helps me to um constantly keep that why and those goals in the forefront of my mind. So highly encourage you guys to figure out your goals and your why and know the difference, and remind yourself again, it's a habit that you got to create when you are in the moment of like, oh, I'm just going to give in to this temptation, or oh, I don't feel like going to the grocery, so I'm going to go run and get fast food, or whatever it might be. I'm going to dive into the candy bowl. I'm going to eat the leftover pizza that's in the fridge. Again, I'm not telling you can't do those things if you really want them, but then you've got to be real with yourself and understand, like, that's not going to move you closer to your goals, and that's not really why you started this. And that's okay. There will be days that you do that, and then you've got to give yourself grace and know, like, okay, yesterday was not the best of days with my nutrition, but like, again, there's nothing I can do about it. You got to get yourself back up and remind yourself of your why, so that you keep moving forward instead of keep falling backwards. Does that make sense? So that's all I got for you guys today. If you were watching the recording, I'm gonna unrecord it so that you guys, if y'all have any questions, for those of you who are watching live, you can drop your questions in the chat. And then, yeah, that's really it.